Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to the podcast and happy Thursday. I am drinking decaf coffee out of my Don't Fuck with My Chi mug.
I love it.
I do too. It's like a big S, my name, big S Sandra on the back. I got this as a gift from a friend of mine, but it's just so fun. I love it.
I love it.
What are you drinking today?
Drinking some tropical water out of my Wonder Woman cup.
Equally as powerful.
One of my weight loss patients.
Okay.
Getting ready to become a grandmother. And it's her youngest daughter. She's super young. She just got married. And, they got married and then quickly got pregnant and bought a house. And they're
Exciting.
1 years old.
Right. Wow. That's a lot.
Holy moly. So, the instincts that creep in when you're pregnant, and then especially when that baby gets here, mama bear, you have instincts you've never encountered before.
True.
Super protective of the baby. And her daughter has announced no one will be kissing the baby. Period.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't have an opinion on whether that's right or wrong. But I know that that's what Lily did when she was pregnant.
Okay.
I was like, it's her kid. And I remembered that instinct that came out, like protect the baby. I remember how strong that was. And I thought, this is her kid. And if these are her rules, whatever.
Yeah.
However, this woman does not feel like that. And she was going to go, because they live in different states. So she was going to go to the state where her daughter lives and stay with her for like 6 weeks to help her.
Oh, gosh.
And because she's retired and she can. And what a great time to bond with that baby. However, she's very, very angry. And she thinks it's stupid. And she doesn't approve and she will not comply. So she's going to have the discussion with her daughter that she will do what she wants to do and kiss that baby, or she will respect her wishes and stay away until she can kiss the baby.
Oh dear. In hopes that it will force her daughter to change her mind?
I guess. Or maybe the daughter will see the error of her way.
Oh dear.
See the light in her mother. And I don't know. I remember I used to kiss Easton's feet. Of course, I always kissed the kids' feet. That was a thing. But I remember, and Maria's as well. And Mona never really talked about that kind of stuff. She wasn't particularly worried about that. But because Lily was, it was always kind of playing in my head, like, got to be respectful. I don't want to do anything that they're going to consider offensive. But I would be kissing on Maria's feet. And then once they started going into her mouth, just all the junk that goes around. I don't know. But it made me think different. But what I said to this woman was not my initial thought, because I had an initial reaction. And then I thought, well, that doesn't feel good. And she's not going to hear that. And then I'm filtering through going, what would source say? What would source say? What would source say? Kind of thing. And I said, so have you considered that by taking this stance, you're going to be giving up 6 months of time with your granddaughter?
Yeah.
And her response was, they're not going to remember it anyway. Do you remember the first 6 months of your grandchildren's lives? And I said, yeah, I do. And that's when we bonded. And at 6 months of age, they recognize people. They remember people. And when you meet her, you're going to be a stranger. Is
Yeah.
it worth it? Is this the hill you want to die on? And she said,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's not the topic that
Maybe
I
she'll
did
change her mind. Maybe she'll change her mind.
on.
Or,
But
you know,
what it did for me was make me go, look, you need to look at your life like that too. And as you're making decisions, look at it from that bigger picture. Because sometimes we do get so wrapped up in the emotion of the moment
yeah.
that we have a choice. We can hang on to that and change the trajectory of things in a not so good way. Or we can look at what's going to matter in 20 years or 5 years. Does this matter? Does it matter that the child does not want anyone kissing on her kid? The
Yeah.
grand scheme of life, no.
I keep thinking about that quote that Cam always he always says when we are disagreeing with something, and he'll just like give in, but he'll say, I choose happiness over being right. And then that's his way of getting the last word, and he somehow wins. But but that's what this reminds me of. It's like she's going to forgo happiness to stand her ground and to be right over something that is not really her control.
Oh, and be miserable for
Oh,
6 months and miss out on time, our
yeah.
precious commodity,
Mhm.
that baby.
Yeah.
Because when you see the grandbaby for the first time, it changes you. Like it is something so different because you see your child in that baby, but
Mm,
you also have the benefit of knowing what matters and what does not. And as parents, we don't. We're annoyed
it's
that kid is
true.
being a little shit, whatever. We get frustrated and lose it. As a
Yeah.
grandparent, we know how quick this time passes. And
Yeah.
this is not who they are. This is who they're temporarily being. There are stages of development. There are changes and things that they go through, and some of it's really annoying, but it's not who they are. It's the growing process. And so we
Yeah.
see it differently because we've been through it before, and our kids have no way of knowing what they don't know. And we can't tell them because there's no way to comprehend it until you've been through it.
And it does feel so real in the moment.
Well, the point of sports for kids, in my opinion, yeah, maybe they're going to get a scholarship and go and find their dream and play for the NFL or the NBA or whatever. But at the very least, they're there to learn about teamwork, to learn how to be coachable, to learn how to work together, to learn how
Yeah.
to focus. It gives them more tools to use.
Mhm.
That's
I
the
think it shows discipline. I think it shows like, hard work and reward and teamwork. You're exactly right. Like every person has a unique spot. Everyone on that team is valuable. Yeah, I agree. And it's so funny because I sit and I watch, especially in hockey in Canada, and I think it is this way for football in the US. I'm not sure, but this is what I hear. But there's so many parents that are so focused on their kids playing for the NHL up in
Yep.
Canada, right? Like so many parents who are just putting so much pressure on their kids. The Coles University, he was giving a speech to these parents. And he said, there are roughly 5,000 cities in Canada, and so 5,000 mayors. Your kid is more likely to be mayor of a city than to get a scholarship to play university ball.
Yeah.
And if he does get that scholarship to play university ball, there is a very slim chance they'll get on the field and a slimmer chance that they'll be a starter on the field. And then there's a slimmer chance that he'll play pro after that.
Yeah.
So, like, we can start putting all of this pressure on your kids.
Yeah.
The likelihood you're going to see me, not very likely, and I think it does take sort of an active.
Those kids that make it, that is a fire that burns in them.
Yeah.
That would happen regardless of who their parents are, because they desire it so much.
Yeah.
They would find their way to it.
For sure.
And yet, as parents, we think we've got to force them instead of allowing them to find their fucking magic. They know, but we've got to define it for them. This is the only way for magic.
Yeah. I'm going to switch gears here, but I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but it was on manifestation. And she was talking about when we judge people. I mean, of course, this is a low vibration. I get it. But what she said, I had never heard. So what she said was, if you are gossiping about someone else, your subconscious mind can't tell the difference. So you're programming your subconscious mind to think those things about you. So consciously, we're speaking shit, we're talking shit about someone else, but subconsciously, our brain is going, oh, yeah, I'm a bitch. Okay, yep, check. I wear awful clothes. Okay, yep, check. Like, we're taking that in as though it was ours. Same if we judge someone else. If we look at someone and, say, my God, her hair is disgusting. We wake up in the morning thinking, oh, my hair, what the hell is the matter with my hair? Why is it so ugly? And we turn it on ourselves.
I have heard that too. And I don't remember where.
Really?
But it feels right to me. I don't know that that's factual. But
I love that. But I don't know either, but it does feel right, doesn't it?
It's because I think about, I've noticed I'll be wanting to text Paul something about somebody. And I'll get out my phone and I'm typing it all out, sitting on my high horse. And then before I hit send, what goes through my mind is, what if I accidentally sent this text?
That's my name. Yeah.
And I erase it immediately. And I've noticed that those feelings of judgment and those feelings of gossip don't feel good in my body. I notice when I get together with friends that want to sit and gossip, it's like, don't we have something more fun to talk about? Like, who cares about that? That does not affect my day. That doesn't make me a better person. That doesn't uplift me. Of course, those are words that come out of my mouth, but it's things that I notice.
Yeah.
Or getting with someone that just wants to complain about life and what.
Well, and then when we leave, we don't feel good. Like, if we're sitting and chatting with people that are talking shit, like, we don't feel good after. So that should be the key. That should be the thing that triggers us to not.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because the goal is to feel good and to increase our vibration. And if we're going to do things continually, intentionally, continue to do things that lower our vibration, man, we're going to have more shit to bitch about, because we're going to attract more shit to bitch about.
Because it's whatever we're focused on. I had a guy, and he did my hair for over 20 years. And I stopped going to him because he was so far away, and with my job and going in, because he would see me at 6 a.m.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And it just wasn't working anymore with my schedule. And I hated to leave him, but Paul continued. He stayed with him until, he's moved out of Austin. But my favorite thing and was to go get my hair done. And he was expensive. He was downtown Austin. It was a drive, but he always did an amazing job on my hair. And when we would get together, the shit we would talk about was in the vortex stuff, and never got on these bitch fest or whining or complaining. It was like we would just sit and inspire each other. And so every time, I almost felt like I was also paying for the service of like just the vortex.
Yeah.
Because I always left there fired up, feeling amazing, not only about my hair, but about life and the day and the week and like, shit, what's coming today?
Yeah.
Because the space I am in right now is pure vortex. And, it's almost like you want to start your day out being with those kinds of people and then focus on those kinds of people over and over again throughout your day. But then that's kind of lazy because we don't have to do the work and go, nope, I don't want that.
Force ourselves there. Yeah.
There is life out there and there's contrast in it. And the contrast isn't supposed to make us get stuck and roll around. It's supposed to stop us and go, okay, what do you want?
Yeah. And to appreciate when it's good. Like really, because I heard this one time and it was yin and yang was being described. And it was about how you can have the white or the light without the dark. And there's always a little bit of dark in the light. And there's always a little bit of light in the dark. And if everything was dark, you would never, ever appreciate the dark.
Right.
Because you don't see the contrast. You don't see what light is, right? And so now we can see both. We can see how beautiful the dark can be and beautiful the light side can be of our yin yang symbol, but of everything. If we just had a beautiful life with a ton of money and everything was always rosy and everything was perfect and everything was beautiful, we wouldn't ever appreciate the amazing moments.
Yeah.
Same with a football game. If you won every single football game, it would get boring. No one would give a shit if you won. If you won the championship, you won the Super Bowl every single year, and all you need to do is get on the Super Bowl, or get on the team that wins the Super Bowl. Hey, but when you lose it, there isn't it. Yeah. But when you lose the Super Bowl, now it's like, oh, you know how it feels to lose it? The winning of it is so much sweeter.
Yeah.
We have to experience a contrast or we would never know how great the great is.
But just the fact that you're in the Super Bowl, you can't discard that.
Yeah.
Now, no one wants to lose, but
exactly.
It's not a worthy meter. It doesn't determine who you are, but when you come back and you learn from what went wrong, where you fell short, what you could have done differently. I
know.
Is a special oomph.
It does. It does. And too many of us, I think, we sit for too long in the contrast. And like you said, we roll around in it.
Yeah.
And why me? And why is my life like this? And, instead of appreciating that when we feel that contrast, as long as we just stop rubbing that shit all over our face, like the great is around the corner. But the longer we whine about it, the longer we stay stuck in it, the longer it takes for the beauty to come,
Correct.
the magic to come, the blessings to come, the miracles.
People, and you hear people say, why me? Why them? Why? And I don't remember who it was, my bad, but someone, it was on an interview and they said, why not me?
Yeah.
Something horrific, and I don't remember what it was, but it was awful, happened to them. And they were like, why not me? Like, this is just part of my journey. So am I going to let this define me? And am I going to focus on this and give up on life? Or am I going to say, this is happening to me for a reason? This is part of it, part of my life. How do I want to deal with this? And it's shifted something in me, because you hear people say, I hear people say that all the time. Why me? Why me? Why them? And there's a gift wrapped in sandpaper and dog shit.
Covered in dog shit. Yeah. There's always a gift.
Accept the gift. Look for the gift.
Yeah.
In any situation. But we get stuck in telling the story of what is and why it's horrible and bad, and it's going to disrupt our lives and ruin our lives and all of these things. And which, okay, then you got it. That's what you want. If that's what you want to make this mean, make it mean that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. And when we get that, everything opens up.
I think if I look back over the times where I have experienced something, or my kids have experienced something that was unfair, scary, and I look back at how I handled those times, I probably rolled in it for too long. But at the same time, that the more times I have kind of gone through those shitty periods, I've come through them on the other side. I think the more apt I am now to go, just hang on. I know it's going to be okay. Like, just hang on. There's beauty on the other side. If I just hang on, or, instead of, oh, what could be, because I am, recovering professional warrior. Like, so, I used to worry and I would keep myself stuck there. Not even like feeling sorry for myself, because it kind of, the victim is not really me, but worrying about it, thinking about it, worrying about how it could be, worse.
Yeah.
So even that, I feel like I've kind of come through with not rolling in that, but choosing.
Huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because worrying is just praying for something you don't want.
Exactly. And I knew that. I mean, but now I feel like I'm able to sit in this knowingness that whatever I'm going through is to get me onto a path, or to get my kids onto a path that they're meant for. No matter how awful, no matter how shitty, no matter how unfair, it's meant to propel them in some way. And I think the more we can do that, it just kind of helps us get back up on our feet so that we don't stay there too long. I know I've said this a zillion times, and maybe even in the last podcast, but it keeps coming up for me lately. My friend who said, Sandra, it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, but it's not okay to stay there. And that, I translate to every area of my life, I swear. If I'm feeling like shit, I think of that saying.
Yeah.
Because as long as we can just feel the feelings and then not allow ourselves to stay there, it's huge, but we got to force ourselves out of the default.
Oh,
The
well,
default, the easy way, the easy default is to just feel like shit for yourself, whine and cry about how everyone else has it better than you, whine and cry about how it's so unfair, and whine and cry and worry about what's going to happen next that's bad. That's the default. That's the easy way.
it's that other shoe. It's getting ready to drop.
Exactly.
Like just looking for it, expecting it. It's a weird thing because there's a piece of me, and I haven't let myself fully go there because I tend towards the drama of he's on a ship and the world is crazy and just what if this and what if this and this. I can feel the fear starting to build. And then
Mhm.
the sensible part of me goes, you want to feel like that?
Mhm.
How you want to feel? You know that this kid is always in the right place at the right time. Things just tend to work out for him. He is
Right.
a master manifester. Like he is impeccable with his manifestations. It's insane. So, do you trust him? This is the path he chose. This is what he wanted to do. And he's going to live in Japan for 4 years with his wife and daughter. And imagine your life at that age, late 20s, being able to go live in a foreign country and give your child that experience and themselves.
Mhm.
Why are you going to worry about? Why are you going to waste your energy instead of knowing he's going to be fine? This is his path that he chose.
Mhm.
And it has been an interesting balance because I'll start wanting to slip into that familiar, and I don't
The
verbalize it, but
Yeah.
it feels definitely like a default. But I
Yeah.
have to acknowledge it going, oh, okay, it's still there a little bit. And it's okay.
Isn't it fascinating? I find this fascinating because there is this awareness. I feel like it was a Jim Carrey that did this, but like all of a sudden he realized that he was witnessing the thinker. Like he was witnessing how he thought and what he felt. And then he realized, wait a minute, who is it in my brain that's witnessing this other person? Like, and all of a sudden it became this big, huge epiphany that he had. And that is somehow how it feels. It feels very interesting inside your body when you can be so fucking aware of, I can feel myself get worried. I can see and I can hear my thoughts get so worrisome, but I also know that I have the ability to control them. Isn't this interesting? It feels like the Matrix kind of.
Because I can
It's
feel the
so
fear welling
powerful.
up when I'm
Mhm.
focused that way. And I
Yes.
feel it. And as soon as I feel that fear welling up,
Mhm.
that's when it clicks in and goes, do you want to
Wait.
feel like this? Do you
Yeah.
want to go down this rabbit hole? Nothing
Yeah.
is there. More fear and despair.
Isn't it the most powerful feeling though? And when we have no power over our situations, this is what I found most fascinating. When I've had no power over something that's going on in my life, but I have extreme power what is going on within my own brain and my own body, it feels powerful. It feels like I have control.
Well, when you
Uh,
can control your reaction to whatever is happening in your life, that feels powerful.
Yes,
More, to me, more powerful than controlling a situation.
absolutely.
The
Yeah,
ability to start to feel that and then go, I'm not going there. Been there.
yeah. It's the coolest thing. And we all have it within ourselves. We just have to choose it. And it is overriding that default.
Yeah. That program.
Yeah.
Because we've all got some program in us. We just got to reprogram.
Yeah.
But with
Oh my
that,
gosh.
you're out of time.
We are out of time. Oh, we talked about all the things today, but it was a good episode.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Sandra. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.